Hi, and welcome to Straight Shot Radio. My name is Johnny Slick, and I'm the owner and head coach at Straight Shot Training. Now, if you have listened to the podcast before, you'll notice that there's no intro music. And it probably sounds maybe a little weird because I'm recording directly into my phone. I've got a microphone set up, but this is going to be the new format for Straight Shot Radio because, as you may have seen over basically all of 2019, I got out like 4 or 5 episodes. What I was doing was either taking a topic and writing about it, getting some notes, kind of pulling everything together, and then producing an episode and putting in the music and editing it, and it was taking a lot of time. And I was blessed last year with a ton of personal training clients, and that is my full-time job. And I'm also an adjunct professor, and I teach future trainers, and I of course run the online company Straight Shot Training, and a lot of other cool stuff that presented itself last year that will be manifesting itself this year. And I kind of put the podcast on the back burner because I didn't feel like it was something that was directly helping any part of my business. But as I thought about it more, a lot of the things that don't directly help me as a personal trainer are helpful to other people, number one. And number two, things that aren't maybe directly helpful to me and my business are indirectly helpful. So maybe you listen to the podcast and you see some of the stuff that I post online and you find something helpful, and then maybe eventually we get the chance to work together. And that's kind of how I see the podcast, just being another touch point for me as a coach and you as an athlete, for me to be able to help you in some way, and then eventually maybe there's a way that we can work together. So as I thought about ways to try to get the podcast out that didn't require so much of my time, because I can't do it at work. In between clients, I have no time to be producing a podcast in between stuff, and I couldn't do it at home because I want to be spending time with my family at home. I came up with this idea where I have a microphone plugged directly into my phone, and I'm not doing any editing. I'm recording directly into an MP3 file, and that's what you are hearing now. So the way the podcast is going to work now over this year, and we'll try that for 2020 and see where it goes, is throughout the day when I'm working with people and people are asking me questions, maybe in person or online, I get these thoughts where I think something about a topic, and I think, man, I just had this cool conversation with somebody. There's cool interaction where maybe I learned something from them, or we talked about something. I feel like other people could do well hearing what just happened, or maybe what I was thinking, or what somebody else was thinking, what we were talking about. So I have a bunch of these topics in my phone, just in a note that I didn't get to do last year's podcast. And so I just kept going with this list and realized, well, I can just record these directly into my phone and put them out there, and they're not as polished as the old podcast was, but hopefully it's something that you all still enjoy. So I'd love to hear some feedback from you on the subject. So that's just what my thoughts are now for this new version of the podcast. And it is January 1st. It is 8:50. I am sitting in the back seat of my car, and I wanted to talk about New Year's resolutions. So we'll talk about New Year's resolutions. So the beginning of the year is the busiest time for gyms. It's like tax season for accountants and tax preparers. It's the time when us as personal trainers, we get a lot of clients, and since we only get paid when we work with people, it's when we make a lot of our money over the year. And so there is a bit of a I'm sure there's a perceived bias maybe from you all listening that of course a personal trainer is going to love New Year's because that's when he makes his money. And yes, that is partially true, but I wanted to take a different angle from this. But first of all, yes, I do get a lot of clients in the New Year's, is where we as personal trainers make a lot of money, and our goal is, of course, to keep clients. So it's not just about, getting clients in January. We want to provide them with an experience where they stay with us, so that we can actually help them get somewhere, because you can't get anywhere in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. It takes some time. So it gives us the opportunity to work with some people who, because of New Year's resolutions, wouldn't necessarily come to us. These are not people who would maybe come to us in August. So yes, I do like New Year's resolutions because it is good for business for us as personal trainers. But the real reason that I love New Year's resolutions is because every person has a moment where they have to make a decision. And this comes down to everything, but I'm just talking about in what I know, and that's fitness and nutrition and health. Everyone has to come to a point where they say, I am ready to make this change, and here are the steps that I'm going to take to make that change happen. Because otherwise, if you're just thinking, I need to work out, I really want to look like this, I want to feel like this, I want to be able to do this with my strength or with my conditioning, or I want to run this race, or I want to stop hurting in this area. People think those thoughts throughout the year, but the cool thing about New Year's is that it allows everybody to reflect over the prior year at something that they want to change. I think that's the biggest thing that I like about New Year's is the reflection over the past year. And then there's the goal setting of, okay, this year I'm going to do this. Now, way back in the podcast, we had a whole episode on setting SMART, S-M-A-R-T goals that you can check out. That explains that acronym and how to make your goals attainable. But that reflection time gives people the opportunity to make goals. And sometimes these goals are good, and sometimes they're a bit maybe a bit unrealistic for people. But to me, I just love when people get to that point where they go, you know what, I want to change, I want to do this to change, I'm going to seek out someone's help to help me make this change. Because that's where a person who I would never meet and never come into contact with, when they hit that point and they walk in the gym and they say, I want to be able to do this and I want a trainer's help with it, that's whenever I get to come in. But I don't ever get to see that person or work with that person or work with that person online unless they have hit that moment of saying, something needs to change. Doing the stuff that I'm doing right now is not getting me the results I want with my program, with my eating, or with my sleeping, or whatever. I have to make a change to make this happen. And when they involve someone else, which I think is a great way for just about any of your goals, if you can have someone else to help you with it, and this is outside of fitness, any goal that you have where someone else can help hold you accountable is going to make you that much more likely to accomplish that goal. So when the person comes in and they ask for a personal trainer, it isn't just, I want someone who's going to give me this workout that's going to give me the body that I want or help me feel the way I want to feel. It's saying, I need help, and I'm willing to make a commitment, both time and financially and physically. I'm willing to make a commitment to this other person for them to help me achieve these goals. And that, way more than the fact that that's where I make my money, that it's that point that people hit that is the deeper drive of a personal trainer, or our feeling of purpose with our job, is we do this to help people. If we wanted to make money, we would do other jobs, because this is not a job where you make a ton of money. We have, each of us, a different reason for getting into it, but it comes down to we want to help people. And when people say, I want your help, and I'm willing to, I understand how hard you've worked to get to where you are, and I understand the education that you have, and I'm willing to pay you what I feel that you are worth, or what your gym feels that you are worth for your time and your expertise. And that's an awesome feeling as a trainer when someone trusts you, because personal training is built on relationships of trust between coaches and athletes. So New Year's resolutions get a bad rep because people say, well, you can start anytime. You can make a resolution every Monday to get better at something. But there's a reason why we have a calendar year and we have these benchmarks of holidays and seasons is it is cyclical in the way that we do things here on Earth as we travel around the sun. Is we have these cycles, and we do reflect. It's just it's human nature that we reflect back on previous years, and we want to change things sometimes, and we want to do things better, or we want to improve somewhere. And New Year's is it's probably half maybe half peer pressure or society, and half just internal, where we feel this need to make a change. And I'm just saying 50-50. I mean, obviously I'm not a psychologist. I don't know exactly what drives us to make these, and a lot of it could be society. But I don't see that as a bad thing. If somebody wants to make a change, doesn't matter when it is, I'm happy for them, and I am ready to help them if they want my help. So New Year's Eve, a lot of people make these resolutions, and they get a lot of grief for it. And a lot of people say, well, you're only gonna stick with it for 4 weeks. I even heard people in the gym this past week say, well, it's busy, but these people will all be going in 8 weeks. And my first thought is, why the heck would you want someone to fail at improving themselves? Like, what kind of terrible mindset is that to have as a human, that you are rooting against somebody to improve on their health because you don't like the fact that you had to wait for a squat rack? Like, that's really selfish. So to me, when I see a super crowded gym, sure, a lot of people who are here right now in the gym will not be here in 8 weeks. And I want to do everything in my power to make sure that as many of those people as possible stay in the gym and keep coming back. And these are people who I will not be working with, and I don't make any money from. This is purely, I want people who want to get better. I want them to get better. And if that means that the gym's going to be crowded, that you're going to have to, or I'm going to have to, or my clients are going to have to maybe do things a little bit differently to accommodate it, that is totally fine. Because a lot of these people who are coming into the gym, making these New Year's resolutions, are anxious to be there. They're afraid. They're in a new place. They're not used to gym culture. They're not used to the people. They think that everyone doesn't want them there because of people saying stuff like I heard people say last week. And their initial experience in the gym is going to dictate how long they stick with it. It's not just about the person wanting to stick with it. I firmly believe that it's the atmosphere that you create in a gym that dictates whether or not a person is going to stay there. If a person feels unwelcomed, then they're not going to come back. If they don't like being in the gym and they just want to feel better, but people are making them feel worse about themselves for being there, then of course they're not going to come back in the gym. So, I know this is getting off into a bit of a rant, but it was just upsetting to me last week to hear people rooting against people with New Year's resolutions. And sure, you should set goals for yourself throughout the year, and you should, not try to change everything all at once and try to make small changes, and every day that you wake up is a new day to start doing something differently. I get that. I help people do that year round. I've been doing it for a long time. But this is a time where people who maybe this is their shot to try to get in the gym and lose that weight, or fix the issue with their knees or their back or their hips bothering them, or even just create a healthy lifestyle of being more active and eating better. If this is that one shot, I want to help every single person who has that as their goal, every person that I can who wants my help. I want to help those people, and I don't want to discourage them from coming in. And I want to encourage you, if you have a New Year's resolution and it involves health and fitness, and it's something that people are possibly maybe making fun of you for, I want to encourage you to not listen so much to what people think. I don't think people's opinions should matter to people as much as they do if they're regarding you and your health and your fitness and what you want to do with that. I think that you just need to stay in your lane and just come into the gym, do you, ask some trainers for some help. We would love to help you. If you can't afford a trainer, we still want to help you. If you can afford a trainer, even if you just want to work with a session here or there, we can work with you and give you workouts to do on your own. I mean, anything that we can do to help you, we want to do that because I know a lot of people don't believe in your resolution, but we do. So that's my little straight talk today. So this will be how we do the podcast from now on. Actually, I would probably keep going, but my feet are so cold. I came out here in my car and I'm in my socks, which is probably not a good decision. I don't ever get really cold, and I'm freezing. So I'm going to go and end it here. Thank you all so much for listening. If you want to check out what I do with Straight Shot, you can head to straightshottraining.com. If you have a New Year's resolution and it involves fitness, maybe weight loss or getting stronger or feeling better, being able to do more stuff outside the gym, I would love for you to try out Straight Shot. It's an online general physical preparedness or functional fitness program. Basically, we help you do everything a little bit better by making you stronger and more mobile and resolving pain and help you get in better conditioning shape. So if you head to straightshottraining.com and click on free month at the top, it'll give you a free month of my programming. That's going to be 6 workouts a week that are fully detailed with instructions, demo videos for every exercise. Right now, it'll be 4 lifting days a week and 1 conditioning day and 1 active recovery day. And all of those things you can do at any gym that, with typical gym equipment, but you can also do it at home. If you have some dumbbells and stuff at home that you're able to do that with. Any questions you have while you're on the program, you can always email me, Johnny, Jonny, at straightshottraining.com, and I would love to help you out with that. So that's one way. If you have a New Year's resolution and involves health and fitness, one way that I would love to help you, and you don't have to pay anything. It's your first month is free. You can cancel anytime during that first month. After that, it's just $21 a month. That's cheaper than a half hour with a personal trainer in person. But if you're looking to train with a trainer in person, depending on where you are, if you want some recommendations, please reach out to me. I'd love to give you some recommendations, especially if you were anywhere in the Frederick, Shepherdstown, Hagerstown, Martinsburg area. I know a lot of the trainers around here, and I would love to get you set up with a trainer. If you'd like to come see me, just send me a message. I can show you where to find me so we can work together. And thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you enjoy this new format of the podcast. And I'm going to try to make one of these possibly tomorrow. I think I have some time to make one tomorrow or in the next day after that. But thank you so much for listening. And I hope you all have a great week.